Welcome to this very special episode of Monomaniacs. Would you say that this is the first episode of what you would call Monomaniacs After Dark?
Well, I mean,
Well, don't you have Monomaniacs After Dark? Wait, what's the...
I mean, I would say the Patreon would be technically from a
are you talking about the Brain Trust
genre perspective, or the Brain Trust, yeah. But like this, as a mainline episode would be the first, much like Our Bizarre Adventure, the first Our Bizarre Adventure After Dark, but for Monomaniacs.
Oh, got it. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Was
I don't know. It's
famous anime podcast.
incredibly famous. 30 people listen to that show.
Yeah.
It's 9:30 now, which is only about a couple hours later than we usually record. So I don't know if it's that much different. It's usually dark when we're recording, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're usually in a room that you can't really discern whether or not it's dark or light outside, right? But right now, very clearly that it's dark. Can you see the window in the shot?
Can you see the window?
Well, there you
Nighttime.
go. Yeah.
That's our incredible lighting department.
Yeah.
It's 9:30 a.m.
It's 9:30 a.m.
They went out there at 6 a.m., started setting up tarps to make it look like
black
it was...
spray paint, the whole works.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't believe, I just want to thank Jose, Quinn, Little Rock, all the guys who really put all the work in to make this, the magic happen.
Night and day.
It's night and day, really. You come out here to South Bend and you can get a real professional team for, a chili dog and a song. That's all it really takes.
Your Patreon dollars are going towards the amazing production value that you're seeing on
the
this
chili
episode.
dogs, the songs, etc. And it's not even a very good song. It's Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
That'd be great to nail that a cappella.
Yeah.
It's true.
Speaking of set lists.
I would say that a very well executed... Well, okay. Here's a question.
Okay.
Would a very well executed Mr. Sandman be better objectively than seeing a mediocre Mr. Brightside?
Depends on the demographics of the audience.
It's you. It's you. You're saying that you're alone.
Let's try it out. I'll start with the first bum. Bum.
If we were wearing headphones, maybe. That song was kind of a running joke in between me and my wife for a while after we first got married, where we'd be like, Mr. Sandman, sand me some sand. Sand.
Me and my brother would always be like, make me some sand. That's what we always say.
Yeah. And then eventually it was just like, sand. Yeah.
Or have you seen those edits of Our House by what's the band?
Oh gosh.
How am I forgetting?
I should know. I'm wearing a hat called
Madness.
Yeah, I'm wearing a hat with ska on.
Yeah.
I should know who does Our House. Yes,
and then
Madness.
it's like Our House in the middle of Our
Our
House.
Okay, so this is dangerous, but the other day I was walking.
This is some real ass podcast. After dark.
After dark.
Monomaniacs.
This is some real ass podcasting. I was thinking, has there been a parody of "I Am All Right"? That song that's in Caddyshack, right?
Kenny Loggins.
All right.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins.
Where it's "I Am Alt-Right."
Well, there is the
sounds
that terrible Bad Religion song that they put out like a couple years ago. That the kids are alt-right.
Okay.
Awful.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what the lyrics or like the lyrical content is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bad Religion had a moment.
I don't know. Was
Recipe for Hate.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know.
Was Bad Religion ever good?
I think Recipe for Hate, and I think
the whole bit is that they're bad. That's the whole thing.
and
makes sense.
The other one, Against the Grain, they're decent. I think they're decent.
Yeah.
There's some decent songs, and yeah, it was weird. I had a moment where in middle school, I don't know if you can imagine, like picture me, glasses,
No,
braces,
never.
on the
I could
school
never
bus,
do it.
wearing those like really ugly shorts that girls were wearing at that age. The really long ones that were patterned.
Yeah.
With all the colors and the strings.
Yeah.
On the bus alone, just like listening to 21st century digital boys, staring out the window. So I might be biased. In that sense.
So I only say that or bring that up because I feel like the alt-right had this sort of moment where they were making a whole bunch of really dumb satire stuff, right? And I feel like that's a low-hanging fruit that they could have plucked that I don't know if they ever did.
Yeah, you call up Nick Fuentes, getting the strategy.
Yeah.
I don't understand this.
You're asking the wrong guys.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I literally haven't looked it up, so I couldn't tell you.
I feel like the song is too upbeat. It's
True.
also from Kenny Loggins.
Too optimistic.
Yeah.
What would you say about why Kenny Loggins would be a problem for the
They
alt-right?
said Kanye Loggins.
Yeah. No, he brought us, Playing with the Boys.
True.
Can you really spoof a guy who brought us Playing with the Boys?
True,
He
especially
understands what he's about.
If you're the alt-right, that's a little too light in the loafers for those folks. That's how I'd phrase it.
I love that song so freaking much. My favorite thing is just the pre or the post chorus where it goes, after chasing sunsets, one of life's simple joys, playing with the boys. After chasing sunsets.
Yeah, like that's a common thing that people
yeah.
do. Yeah. Then again,
have you guys ever seen that McSweeney's article where it's like, it's a parody of like a critical gender theory paper, and it's like the subtle heterosexual undertones of Top Gun. Despite what you may think about this story, it is really actually the tale of a man falling in love with his pilot instructor.
I watched recently, I think I was telling you guys, I went to go see Double Indemnity in theaters.
Yeah.
And they had a Q&A after, and they had like an audience discussion.
Yeah.
And this one girl raises her hand. And because at the end, I don't know, has everyone here seen Double Indemnity?
I have, yeah.
Dylan has.
You haven't?
I've seen, actually, no, I have. I was like in 9th grade. That was a long time ago.
Well, without spoiling, at the end of the movie, one man says to another man, I love you.
Yeah.
This is significant.
Gay as hell.
Gay as hell, as they say.
Yeah.
And actually, right after, the other guy's like, no homo.
Yeah. So it wasn't gay as hell.
Recontextualizes the whole
It
film.
was actually very straight.
But this girl raises her hand and is like, are we not going to talk about how homoerotic that last moment is? And I don't know, that feels regressive.
I feel like erotic and homoerotic is doing a lot of work in that sense.
But anyway, I don't know. Sorry, that reminded me of the subtle homoerotic undertones of Double Indemnity.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, would you say...
Isn't that movie partially kind of about like the dangers of femininity, though? Like the dark side of femininity?
I mean,
She is
the fact
the
that there is a
Yeah.
woman who's an antagonist, yes, but I wouldn't
Okay.
say that, and that the main character is seduced into falling onto her side, but I wouldn't say that would be explicitly a pro-homoerotic message, but
this way.
Yeah, you got to talk into the...
Okay, sorry.
this
Yeah,
is the
that's
thing
right.
that people love about this podcast is when we instruct the people that we're recording with on how to hold their mic.
We do this all
Hey,
the
I gotta
time.
I gotta learn good.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's only the 3rd time you've been on the show.
Yeah.
So, how about what was your initial sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Impression.
There you go. When it comes to watching Top Gun for the first time, did you look at the volleyball scene and we were like, that's pretty gay? Or were you like, yes, the boys?
I think it hit me at a really specific time in my life where I was like, man, dudes rule. I was like, dudes rule. And I think that was about it.
Yeah. That's as
Actually,
far as it
honestly,
went.
I don't know. We haven't talked about this on the show before, but I finished watching that. It was in a really rough period in my life. It was that summer after junior year.
Yeah. Big time for you.
Actually, summer after sophomore year. Was that when it was?
No, it was junior.
Okay, yeah. And we watched Bloodsport,
Yes.
starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Top Gun, and then we watched one more movie. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I feel like that was the movie that had the most impact on me, though. I can't remember what it was. But we watched Top Gun, and I'm not joking. I couldn't stop thinking about Goose for a week. The death
Wow.
of Goose.
It's
Call
hard.
me.
That's not homoerotic.
Yeah, I don't know what is.
Call me Rooster, because I was thinking about Goose's death. I was thinking about Goose's death. But yeah, no, for me, it was like, no, man, dudes rock. We're just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I was more concerned about the fact, my favorite scene in the whole movie, because my wife and I watched it kind of recently, is when Maverick finishes playing volleyball, realizes that he's late for a date, and he shows up to his flight instructor's house, gets off his motorcycle, soaking wet in sweat, and he's wearing a leather jacket. So he's like leather jacketed, sweaty, walks up, she's sitting there, she's like picking at her food that she made, because she made dinner. He was late to the dinner she made. Walks up and says, "Can I use your shower?" And then goes and takes a shower.
Beautiful.
Which, I don't know. It's just
More dudes rock moments.
Yeah,
more
exactly.
dudes rock.
Jane, how about you? What was your initial reaction in regards
Have you
to
seen
Top
Top
Gun?
I have not seen the entirety of Top Gun.
Oh.
Okay, but you've seen that scene, right?
I've seen. It's very strange. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch the volleyball scene of Top Gun." But essentially, this is essentially
As you
what happened.
do, as you do.
Was this a
I'll
man
tell
or
you
a
after
woman?
the show who, and you'll think it's really funny.
Don't want to put him on the spot.
yeah. And me and this
Individual.
just sat and watched that scene from Top Gun. I kind of skipped around to a couple other scenes. A movie I had not seen at that point, and still haven't. And I think it lives better in my memory like that.
Yeah.
You know.
So
Honestly,
have you seen Maverick though?
I have seen the new one. Yeah, I watched that.
Okay.
I watched that in theaters after a rough time in my life.
There we go. And Tom Cruise thanked you.
Yeah.
Thank
for
you.
coming to theaters
Yeah,
and seeing
for
that.
coming
Yeah.
out of your shell and watching this film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think what my thought was.
As
But
you were watching it.
I did that year for Halloween go as Rooster. So
Okay.
It
clearly
Are
had
you
some
as Goose or
impact.
Rooster?
as Rooster
Oh, Rooster from Maverick.
from Maverick because I don't, that other one doesn't exist in the canon for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you wear a mustache?
I did. I wore a mustache.
Hell yeah,
We could
dude.
put it up on the screen right now. My friend was a fellow fighter pilot, and his date was third wheeling at this event. So
Nice.
it was not a fighter pilot.
Beautiful. Who were they?
Mario.
Mm. Two fighter pilots in a Mario.
Yeah.
There's a film in there. I'm not going to tell you which kind of film.
Once
but-
Illumination hits 4 Mario movies, start running out of ideas after the first one made billions
Did you
of
go see
dollars.
that?
No,
Oh,
I can't say I did.
No.
Josh did because he has children
Mhm.
who are movie watching age.
Yes.
Yeah,
What was the?
my son loves The Sopranos, so he's at that age.
Based. So, the only thing that I have consumed in regards to the Mario movie is the discourse, right? The conversation around, and that has convinced me not to watch it, which I think is it's a shame. It's a shame,
Yeah.
the fact that I feel like I'm motivated not to watch a film because of the way that people are degrading it.
The discourse felt like that's what the film was as well. I don't know. The discourse was empty in a way that I imagined the film was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Everyone
do
like
you
looking for a
expect-
thing where they're trying to.
Yeah.
Be
I
mad
remember
at
there being
it.
people being like, "It's anti-culture war because it says nothing," and it's like, I guess. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, it's anti-culture war in the way that it doesn't participate in the culture whatsoever.
It's just a movie where things happen.
Yeah.
Of no significance. So
I don't know. Maybe it was reaching the peak of everything. Those critics, those culture critics who are like everything is content now.
yeah.
I could see that movie being the prime example.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. But
Would you say that it is anti-imperialist at the very least?
was that the take online?
Well, that's just me off of literally not seeing the film and just seeing the commercial.
that was anti-imperialist?
Yeah, the idea of like a monarch coming in and taking over other people's regions and universes for his own.
You're just saying anything now.
Dude,
Just like the
literally,
movie.
I'm just trying to make it a part of the discourse.
This is episode 70, and you've just decided to not make sense anymore.
Episode 71. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Dr. Connor was episode 70. Yeah, my bad.
on,
You're
come
following Dr. Connor as an O'Connor.
Oh wow,
Mm,
wow,
Wow.
yeah.
Very Irish.
This is all, we've been planning this for years. You guys don't realize it, but a crack team of writers is putting together the narrative structure for Monomaniacs. You guys are going to go insane. Episode 150 is when things really get
We got
good.
Connor. We got son of Connor.
Yeah.
She's a gal.
Once you get to episode 300, that's when the show gets good.
Yeah.
So just prep for that.
Yeah.
Get your wallets ready, everybody.
It's after the lowest point of the show.
Yeah.
There's going to be some real low points.
In between now and then.
Yeah.
When Shad dies, let me tell you, you're going to want to tune out. But it's all going to come back around.
Yes.
So
What does Shad dying mean for the Dylan arc?
Yeah.
Shad dying for the Dylan arc is a hiatus for show. Hiatus for show.
Yeah.
Right.
You're actually ready to go.
Yeah,
You're-
to be like, oh, I'm so sad that Shad died. This is so bad.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I've got like freaking dancers in the background.
Yeah.
I've got
You got some ex-Rockettes. By
Yeah,
ex-Rockettes,
yeah.
you're 75 years old.
I got 7 musical guests.
Whoa.
Each coming in. at 3-minute periods.
All right, it's Spoon Man.
Spoon Man. He comes in, dead already, but we raise him from the grave to come into play.
Yeah, I imagine Spoon Man is dead.
No, I think that's the whole bit. Like, I think that who was the band that
Pearl Jam? Eddie Vedder.
Pearl Jam came out and was like, we're sad to report that Spoon Man is dead.
Okay.
Josh, look it up. Spoon Man dead? No, he's
sad
not.
to report Spoon Man
This
is
guy.
racist.
Every time I ask him a question, he's like, "No, I'm not gonna look.
I'm not gonna look up
what,
whether or not
what does
Spoon
this
Man's
guy
like-
do? Frick.
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Spoon Man is dead.
Spoon Man.
Gay as hell, dude. I guess.
You look up a Spoon Man.
Is Spoon Man dead?
Josh was like, I'm on some weird sites.
Spoon Men? Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Men who spoon? Oh, jeez.
Bless
Sneeze.
you. We got a sneeze man over here. Bless you.
Jane, can you
Spoon Man.
believe that we pay Joshua Leaphauser $30,000 a year
Yeah.
for this job? And
And he can't even tell us if Spoon Man's dead or alive. Schrodinger's Spoon Man right now.
This show sends his kids to Mary Randall Preschool.
And yet we can't get any information out of him.
Man, he's like, his brow is furrowed.
I think he's still alive. He was born in 1948.
1948. That would make
You
him
know when Spoon Man was born?
that he is almost 80 years
So for
old.
people who don't know, Spoon Man is the subject of the Pearl Jam song
Spoon Man.
which I thought was a very popular song, but I realized that it's only popular because we grew up listening to Seattle alternative radio.
Yeah,
And Spoon Man was a guy who lived at Park Place Market.
in Seattle.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Pike Place Market, which is one of the 3 places you go when you go to Seattle. It's like that, the Space Needle, and the Science Center. But he would play spoons, and Pearl Jam was like, "Wow, Spoon Man," and they wrote a song called Spoon Man, and that's it. That's the whole story. But he was just a famous vagrant.
Yeah,
Dang,
and he
the
plays.
cool Disco Dan of
Yeah,
Seattle.
he does play spoon on the track.
Does he actually? They got Spoon Man.
Whoa.
Famously dead.
Pearl Jam and not Soundgarden?
Is it Soundgarden?
Because there's no mention of Pearl Jam on here, but he did collab with Soundgarden.
He collabed with
Feet Spoon Man.
What,
Soundgarden.
seriously?
Yes,
No. Oh, you know what I think it is? Is that it's like it's Chris Cornell doing a Eddie Vedder impression or something.
Yeah, because he does the Spoon Man.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, you're
Wow.
right. It is Spoon Man.
That's
Wow.
why I was so confused, because I couldn't find Pearl Jam.
And you yelled at Josh. Shame on you.
You downgraded him. You went over there.
My
you
bad. The
abused
nice
him.
thing is that if anybody from Seattle is listening to this, and they're not, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, you freaking idiot!" But
That's
everybody
the
else
Seattle
is like, "Whoa,
sound.
whoa,
Why didn't they call it the Puget
grunge?"
Sound? Like for the musical movement.
Oh, because there is a sound, as in the. Wait, is that a real question? Or?
Well, I just mean, I always thought that could be a cool, because they call it the Seattle Sound, right?
Oh yeah. You're saying why don't they?
Yeah,
call
why
I
didn't
thought
they
you said why do they?
No,
call
no,
it
no. I meant why didn't they call that
Why didn't they
movement
call it
of
the
music
Puget
the
Sound?
Puget Sound?
That would have been clever.
It would have been clever.
Yeah.
Where was I? I was a twinkle in God's eye. That's where I was.
Exactly.
And God was like, "Oh, put me in, coach." They're not ready.
Oh goodness gracious.
Oh, Kurt Cobain's dead.
Too
late.
Man,
Too
the
late.
27
All right,
curse.
wait a little bit and then put me in.
What's up with this? I heard the other day that in the 27 curse, there's this thing about white lighters. To light
What?
cigarettes, that the people who die from the 27 curse always have white lighters on them, like
Hmm.
Janis Joplin and Kurt Cobain.
Had a white lighter that they would
Yeah.
carry.
Actually,
with
this
them.
sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, like when they died, they found white lighters on them.
Hmm.
So,
Next band name?
White
no, I was
lighter.
actually thinking that'd be a great
pretty
song
good.
title.
Yeah.
White lighter.
Spoon Man. White Lighter. Spoon Man and the
2.
White Light. I hate that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just college, but that concept for naming bands is
Oh.
ruined for me.
Okay, the reason why. Okay, so the problem is that it made sense when we first did it. It's just now become like a trope. 'Cause
Yeah.
we started the first band. I mean, I wasn't
Ever. Period.
there. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm going
college.
to draw a lot of haters from our
Yes. Def Davy and the Wine Boxes, and then everybody else just sort of was like, "Oh, let's name it in that convention," and it became the thing. You know what's weird? Is now like every band that debuts gets a Collegian profile.
Yeah, I actually checked out the Collegian because I was back in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane was back in town.
Yeah.
You probably
you
saw
guys
it
knew.
in the collegiate.
Yeah. They're like
In the
socialite.
society section.
Yeah, Notre Dame socialite Jane O'Connor back in
Yeah.
Hillsdale.
And I saw that. And I didn't know that they always got a feature, but
I don't know. I mean, it was 2 weeks in a row. There was a band feature in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are. They're putting the cart before the horse here. I don't know if these people
we
are any good.
weirdly got one.
Oh,
It was
really?
not about. Remember, it was not about us. It was about CHP Showdown.
Oh,
But a
you mean
lot of the
Bad
article,
Liturgy.
a lot of the
Okay.
article focused on Bad Liturgy. Do you
Oh,
remember
really?
that?
No, I don't remember that. What'd they say about us?
Countercultural movement.
One thing I remember is they forgot to mention the drummer at all,
Drew.
and he was sad.
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah. They said like we played different instruments than we actually played, right?
Yeah, I don't remember all the details. They got
Yeah.
quotes from a lot of random people. They mentioned my bleeding hands.
Yes.
which
Yeah.
became
Yeah,
lore.
Jane did. She pulled a Jack White,
Yeah.
and she on the first song cut her hands up.
Yeah.
And I remember like you still played the riffs, but I remember during the Stroke song we played, I was like, "There's something up."
Something going on here.
Yeah.
Bleeding.
Yeah. Not that you were bleeding. I was just like, this is dragging a little bit. What's going on? It's like, oh yeah, there's a cut on her hand.
That riff was also the one I was most. That was my first live performance ever, and I was
What a trial by
And you did
fire.
a good job.
pooping my pants.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a pretty good job. That was a good show.
But
I
we're
mean,
coming back.
Yeah,
We're announcing that now.
Yeah,
Bad Liturgy.
Bad Liturgy is returning. Gabe Listro is back in town. Previous Monomaniacs, yes. And, we're going to bring back Bad Liturgy. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what is the impetus for this? Like, what are you guys gonna do? What's
I don't
the
know.
Motivation.
I mean,
Is it just
maybe
like
we can bother somebody into
whatever?
hosting us at a bar or something, maybe,
Yeah.
and then just putting a set together and playing it. But I don't know. To relive the glory days, to be in a band that will play the music you want to
Yeah.
play. You
Just
know?
to
So-
play with your friends.
Yeah.
playing
To
with
play
the
music
boys.
with the
Yeah.
boys.
After chasing sunsets.
So this is actually a good question because we are currently in, for those that do not know, we are in South Bend, Indiana,
Yeah.
near the Notre Dame campus during homecoming week.
Yeah.
And
Not homecoming at Notre Dame.
it's not homecoming at Notre Dame.
No.
This game.
It's just the Ohio
No,
State
no.
game.
Oh well.
I thought you were referencing homecoming. At
It's
Hillsdale.
homecoming at
Interesting,
Hillsdale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is happening
So
somewhere.
say
It's homecoming somewhere.
So Jane has a better perspective on this. Say you lived in
Say you lived in South Bend.
California, say. Would you be at all inclined to travel back to your alma mater to visit for a homecoming week?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Josh Lee Bowser just sprained his ankle, ladies and gentlemen.
He is so surprised about this question.
Yeah.
It's coming out of nowhere for him.
I feel it's shameful. We're like living in a town now with a D1 college football team and not being that invested. And this is a team that has some pretty invested
Yes.
fans.
Yes.
And I'm not a hater. My great granddad, he's buried with a Notre Dame hat. I don't know if this is new lore for the podcast.
This is new lore for the podcast.
He immigrated from Ireland.
Frickin' add it to the wiki, everybody.
Yeah. Immigrated, lived in DC the whole rest of his life. Never left. Never visited Indiana.
Not even at 75.
Not even at 75. That's a reference for some people. I don't know who.
Anybody else who saw Shane Gillis tonight?
Yeah. He was deaf, basically. Could hear out of one ear. Sitting by the radio, listening to every Notre Dame game. Buried with a Notre Dame hat. And yet,
have you
yet
even been
I
to
can't.
a game yet?
I've been to a game.
Oh, okay.
I've been to a
At the
game.
very least.
Yeah.
But I can't really
Care.
muster up the support that maybe I should.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a school that does not have a very strong football team, that of course is not a motivation, right? That is, I think the only reason I go to homecoming is because it is literally 7 minutes away from my home, and people drink there in a open setting where we're just standing around, sitting around with free alcohol and just chilling for a long period of time. I think that is literally the only
I
thing
know
that
some people who
motivates
live
me.
in like Grand Rapids and stuff who are making the trip.
Yeah, I mean, but like again, question being, if you were in California,
People do
right?
come from
if you were,
all over.
If you
Yeah.
were a part
People-
of the diaspora,
Yeah.
right, from the college, would you travel all the way back?
Give
to
it
come?
20 years in Mormon nostalgia, and you'd do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I
a
will
lot of-
say the football thing here at least is sort of getting to me. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
feeling it tonight after the show.
You were like, I
when he
gotta
said "Go Irish," I was like, "Hell yeah!"
after he said Ohio is gay,
Yeah, that's
you're like, I gotta go see the
I
Notre
gotta
Dame
go
game.
see the Irish play tomorrow. Yeah. It's a bummer that we're not going to stick around for that because that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're wondering when to if you're wondering when we're recording this,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
giving
you
some
want to
context
really,
clues.
really
Yeah. They
For
say
the
make your
Wikipedia.
content. They say make your
Predict the score of the game.
predict the
score of the game.
Dude, I'm not. Bring Silas on for this.
The score of the game. I say goes Notre Dame.
Ooh.
And I'm
Ooh.
saying.
Ooh.
I'm saying. How about 16?
Well, that's a very particular number. Okay, go for it.
I'm just saying, like, what?
Go off,
two
Queen.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know.
And a two-point
16.
conversion.
Well, no, so 2 touchdowns was 12.
2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
well, I'm
playing
not
your
saying
cards
I'm not
right.
saying
Yeah.
with the so yeah, two touchdowns. How about this? 2 touchdowns, one's converted, and then a field goal. And then I'm going Ohio gets 2 touchdowns.
Wow. So a pretty close game.
Pretty close game. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna say 0-0. First tie in the NFL will be tomorrow.
It's the NCAA. Yeah.
First tie in the NFL will happen in college
Isn't
football.
the lowest scoring game is 2-0, right? Isn't that the ever? I'm just saying the stuff now. Just
What is a podcast if not?
Yeah. So a
Saying
touch.
stuff.
How much does a touchback get you?
Safety gets you 2 points.
Safety gets you 2 points.
yes.
So I guess it was
Theoretically
No,
possible.
wait.
no.
no. It's-
There's no
What do
way
we
to go.
freaking pay you $30,000 a year for?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is
Look
all
at-
you care
Look
about,
at us
too.
nerds.
Yeah. This is all you care about. We're over here. We have like important stuff on our
Yeah.
brains. You know.
Yeah.
We're
All we
thinking
care about is the spoon man.
Yeah.
And whether or
We're
not he's out there, whether he's at large.
Yeah.
Is the Spoon Man alive? The distance.
He's out here.
He's like Freddy Krueger.
We're
who
actually on
shows
the
up.
set of like a really bad millennial Gen Z, directed by millennials about Gen Z, low budget horror movie comedy where we have
Is
a
that Bodies,
podcast.
Bodies, Bodies?
Yeah, so yeah, we're in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies,
Actually-
but we're all podcasters and the Spoon Man kills us.
Yeah. Did you watch that movie?
No, would you?
No,
did
I've
I
you?
didn't watch that movie.
Yeah, I haven't
That just
either.
sounded like the premise
Yeah.
to the movie.
Yeah.
I know what the twist is, and I'm just gonna spoil it because
do it.
you know
Who
'cause-
cares? Yeah.
because Pete Davidson's the one who dies.
Oh.
And then everybody's like, who killed him? And they go crazy and they kill each other over it, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just revealed because somebody finds his phone and he was filming the whole thing. He like has a shotgun and he trips and blows his own head off. And it was like, it was all.
Doesn't
It
that
was
happen-
all a dream. I
Yeah.
was only 16.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't that happen in Maybe I'll spoil a different movie. Wild at Heart. Isn't that?
Is that who's in Wild
Isn't
at
that how
Heart?
Willem Dafoe dies in Wild at Heart? Someone fact check this. Look up Willem Dafoe death Wild at
That's
Heart.
that's David Lynch, right?
Yeah.
Wild at Heart. He plays the guy with the big teeth.
Yeah.
So funnily enough, I've been watching a lot of I think it's like GQ does that like old
Don't look that up, Josh.
yeah who cares. GQ does those interviews where it's like all the iconic roles of actor and they come on and they interview about it. And it turns out every time that Willem Dafoe is in an interview where they talk about his old work, he brings up the teeth, the prosthetic teeth he put in
For
for
Wild
Wild
at
at
Heart.
Heart.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just crazy how you just feel like a different actor when you have the teeth in your mouth. It's like the physicality changes how you feel while you act. So he always brings it up, which to me
Have you worn
is that-
prosthetic teeth?
Hmm?
Have you ever worn prosthetic teeth for a role?
for a role, no. For fun, yes.
Are they going to do that with like Bradley Cooper when he talks about putting on
the
the
nose.
fake Jew nose for the Sondheim movie? He's going to be like, it's insane how when you put on a racial stereotype, you
That's like-
feel like you're the race.
Suddenly, it was better with money.
Yeah. Yeah.
What That was was that Macklemore who did the
yes,
witch costume?
The witch costume, quote unquote. I remember when that hit because we were driving around Seattle and it was on the radio because he was our own. You know,
Yeah,
it was him and Sir Mix-a-Lot. That's all we had.
Yeah, that was Seattle
as far as
at the
rap
time.
cred was concerned.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh man, no, it was he was just trying to dress like a witch and he forgot like some really important parts of his costume.
So you were on that side. You were on the.
No, I wasn't on any side. I didn't care.
Ever in the middle, Shadrach Strehle.
Ever in the middle.
Neither centrist on the Macklemore Jew-witch controversy.
Exactly. It's just really funny.
Some
like
witches are Jewish.
Yeah,
it's just a really funny story.
not all witches though.
In my mind, where it's like, oh yeah, I had a witch costume and I left out all the things that identified me as a witch.
And but I kept all the things.
Yeah, so it's I had a big nose and a curly hair and all these things. I was wearing black and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, okay, gosh, Macklemore. And it's like, oh, I forgot the green. I mean, what was he gonna put spray paint on? I don't know. It's
Mr. Goblin costume over here. Yeah,
Eye of Newt.
Have you actually seen the picture?
I've seen photos.
It's
of it.
less defensible when you see the photos. It's like that does not look like a witch costume.
but is that exposing you as a racist though?
If you look at that,
Yeah,
you're
and you
like,
think like, oh, that's a particular race.
I mean, or I can say, oh, that reminds me of the stereotypes of a race. I wouldn't say that's the race.
Mm.
It
I
reminds
feel like
me.
you can get into some tricky spots with that logic.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well,
Oh,
you
you
live
think I'm a
another day,
blackface?
Shadrach
What does that say
Strehle.
about you?
Yeah, exactly.
What does that say about?
You find blackface offensive? No. Okay. Racist much? So they're interviewing Al Jolson. He's like, man, I put the paint on and I'm different.
Okay, how about this? Would you say that the cosplay of a dark elf in Community
Hey, the
Is
verdict
what-
on that apparently is in.
is what?
Didn't they take that episode off?
Yeah, it's off all the platforms.
Yeah, I thought it was coming back though. I heard rumors of that the other day.
Whoa. We got to set the timer. I have all of the physical copy. I have a full physical collection of 30 Rock. And you know, it's weird to say that because the only difference
Sounds
between,
like you're bragging.
Yeah,
Shad.
exactly. It's just weird to say because I got that because my old roommate's mom was like, you know how many friends who would want a full collection of 30 Rock for free? And he was like, yeah, I do.
And you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, well, what's the difference between me and someone with a Hulu subscription? It's like, I can watch Blackface.
Yeah, you can invite your friends over.
Yeah, you're like, hey guys, we can watch the Blackface episodes. And I'm like, you know, I want to be a proponent of physical media and a lack of censorship, but I also don't want to be the guy where it's like, yeah, man, if you really want the hookup,
I got the guy.
Got the
Or as soon
Blackface
as somebody
episode.
hears like, oh, do you know anyone that would want
yeah,
these episodes of 30 Rock?
I have this. We have a physical copy of Holiday Inn featuring Bing Crosby.
is there a version of Holiday Inn that doesn't have blackface?
I don't
Can you
know.
Edit that out.
I don't know. Well, no, it's a number. You could cut it out.
Yeah.
There is a whole number that is done where Bing Crosby. So it's about President's Day, which at the time was because the whole bit is that they have an inn where they do holiday themed parties, right? And they bring people out there, and it's like, oh, we're doing a Valentine's Day party.
It's White Christmas, but without.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
helpful because I
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie. I
Yeah.
haven't seen
So
this movie.
one particular segment is we're doing
not
President's Day,
racist.
but at the time, President's Day was Lincoln's birthday. Okay, there is a whole musical number where Bing Crosby walks out full blackface. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Isn't it great that Lincoln freed us from slavery?" And he sings a whole song about it. And then about 2/3 of the way through the song, a woman comes out, the romantic lead, the ingenue, comes out in even more extreme blackface and joins in and says, "Isn't it great that I also am freed from the slaves?"
Freed from the slaves.
True, free from the idea.
Okay.
The other very important line is that she is really nervous about putting on blackface because she's like, I'm not going to look as pretty if I wear blackface, which is just a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like I'm holding contraband by having a physical copy of this film, right? You know, this, like, it feels wrong to watch this movie, right? So I don't know. You know, will they come knocking on my door?
I feel like that's less extreme. I don't know. because you're not you don't hold on to it because you're like, this is when entertainment was entertainment.
True.
I know a guy who like has a copy of Song of the South, and he's like, they'll take this from my cold dead hands. I'm like, you really okay? All right, guy. Whatever you say.
You'll have to tell me who that is after this.
Yeah, it's the same person who was watching.
I'll tell you who wants to watch the volleyball scenes in Top Gun only.
Yeah.
Guess if they're a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
Question.
They have a copy of that next to a copy of Song of the South.
And no other movies.
Yeah.
No other movies.
I watch them alternating each night.
And then every season of House.
They officially changed. Didn't they just like change Splash Mountain recently?
That sounds.
I think now it's Princess
That
and the
sounds like it's
Frog
part of the
themed
discourse.
or something.
Yeah.
Because Splash Mountain was
Song of the South
Song
themed.
of the South themed.
Yeah.
It was Briar Rabbit and all the characters. So I'm curious. Well, you should check, Josh. Pay attention to us. First off, he's refusing to look up the Song of the South.
Yeah.
What did they change?
Listen
Splash
to that
Mountain to?
sigh. We're really putting him out right now, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
Holding
what did they
the story away.
change Song of the South to? Or excuse me, what did they change Splash Mountain to?
Yeah. It was Song of the South themed previously. What is it themed to now?
What is the theme to now?
Is that Disneyland?
Yeah, Disneyland.
Have you guys been to Disneyland?
No,
Never.
have you?
No. Wow, is this a Disneyland list podcast?
I think so. And I
We are
honestly
not
think
Disney
it makes
The
adults.
us,
Disney Wasteland.
I think it makes us like superior in many ways to our peers. Actually, the only person I've ever had like talk to who gave a really concerned and constructed defense of Disney adults, you'd be very surprised.
Ask us after the show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, same person actually. Monomaniacs supporter Sammy Roberts,
Wow.
which
Oh,
is not like a
interesting.
Sammy Roberts opinion to
No,
have.
not
Yeah.
a Sammy Roberts
Yeah.
take.
He's
Yeah.
like,
What
you
was
know,
the-
It brings
what
them
was the
joy, etc. I don't know. It was all the classic stuff. But
Princess and the
Frog.
Frog. Shad was correct.
I was correct. They're like, we're gonna swing in the opposite direction. You know,
Are you saying
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog is the opposite?
it's the opposite of racism.
That reminds me of my boss once saying that the reason he got into video games was because he was pro industrialized happiness. And I was like, that sounds
like being an Imagineer.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, because he was like inspired by Disney. And
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds pretty dystopian, like in general. And he was like, okay, well, widespread happiness. I'm like, it's not the term that was the thing that made me talk about
I just want to turn. I want to meet hose of happiness.
Yeah. I want to
see
go
that.
up and suckle on the tube
of joy.
of joy. The same thing that where Soylent Green comes out of.
I want a sweatshop of happiness.
Producing happiness.
Isn't that sort of just, I don't know, isn't that sort of just plushes, period?
Do you
know?
mean like the idea of a plushie?
Yeah, like, because half of them are made in Indonesia, but it's like, the kids love them.
Not the kids making them.
Yeah,
The kids
exactly.
who get them.
Those kids they're crying, actually.
Actually, Shad, those kids are happy to have a job. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
They're happy to get a
exactly.
paycheck.
You're like, man, I'm so
Yeah.
glad I can work for 12 hours a day making skibidi toilets, stuffed monsters.
Listen. Child
I'm glad
labor.
that this I'm glad that this pedophile YouTuber who made plushies can spread joy to all of their fans. Yeah.
Guys,
Are you guys gonna do a plushie?
No. Well, so actually, we're transitioning.
Made in America.
Yeah, we're doing some. It will be made in America if we do.
Nice.
I will not promise that, but I'm going to say
Josh
it.
is making not made in America faces right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
we have no qualms.
We have
Yeah.
no qualms, honestly.
You can have my family make them.
In America, in America.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
most of them are above the age of 18.
So there you go.
But
Have you seen that Portlandia episode where they accidentally create a sweatshop?
no.
Where they I don't remember in detail enough to
Yeah.
explain, but it's important.
This
It's an important piece of media.
Yeah.
is a part of the lore in preparation for this next bit that Shad's about
Well,
to
so
give.
we're doing some rebranding, and we're gonna change up some of our logo and the end card and all this stuff, and we're kind of working through it right now. And there's gonna be kind of a more obvious mascot. So I'm not gonna try and force this on people as like, hey guys, like, because I feel like sometimes people will do that. We're like, whoa, check out the cute thing that I'm gonna pretend you guys like. But if there's enough clamoring, if the people want it,
it's all about the people wanting it.
maybe a plush is in the future, potentially
From Utunes.
from Utunes. Those are like little like vinyl figures, right?
No, they also do plushes, I think.
Okay. Also
Vinyl
made in Indonesia.
Monomaniacs Funko Pop.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Can a guest get one?
I think it was
Yeah, exactly.
for the...
Well, so it's the Monomaniacs line of Funko Pops.
Yeah.
You would probably be there. Your first guest. You've been on a couple of times. You'd be like,
Nice.
Jane O'Connor.
Jane O'Connor's coming
You'd be
out.
holding some Pringles.
the
Gosh, I hate
freaking
those things.
Zach.
It's like you look at a Funko Pop and you're like, this is not made in the image of God.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I want to clarify.
Oh, are you about to give the Funko
Who-
Pop defense?
No, I'm going to say who amongst us has purchased of their own volition.
Yes, I have purchased a
A
Funko
Funko
Pop. I purchased one, a single Funko Pop, and I got from it for years. And I eventually, like in defeat, threw it away. And a guy I knew in DC, he would make fun of me about it. I mean,
Wait,
every
what was
time
it?
I saw
I
it,
need a.
it was I saw Rogue One, which in retrospect I don't really like anymore. But I saw Rogue One and I was like, that was a good Star Wars movie. I was at the store. I was at Walmart here in not here in Hillsdale, but in Hillsdale. And I was like, wow, it's the droid from Rogue One. Nice. It's on sale. Well, let's buy it. And I bought it, not even thinking anything of it. But apparently I had marked myself with the mark of the beast, the vinyl sign of my own inadequacy, and I was made fun of relentlessly for it, and I eventually destroyed it. I literally destroyed it. And then the guy who had made fun of me all these years about it for like a year and a half, he was like, yeah, Mr.
He was a
Funk.
predator.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, yeah, he was like, oh, hey, Mr. Funko Pop. And I was like, I actually got rid of it. And he was like, what? It's like, because of me? And I was like, partially. And he was like, oh, man, I'm sorry, dude. Go to hell, man. Nothing but respect, actually. Jude Russo. Good guy.
What's his name and address?
That's when.
Yeah.
That's the moment you realize your words have power. you know?
Exactly.
There
You
go.
cause a... I feel like partially the reason I got rid of it is because I worry sometimes, and people assure me otherwise, but I worry sometimes that because I am a kind of a slightly overweight white dude with a beard and who's balding, that I
No.
give off,
Coomer vibes.
like soy boy,
Yeah.
like Marvel fan
Adult
kind of,
collectibles.
kind of vibes. And so I don't really have those hobbies anymore. I did when I was a kid, but I worry sometimes, like, oh, people are
Literally,
gonna think I'm
Shad,
that
you
guy.
bought me a Master Chief statue as
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
for my office, and I have it in my office. And literally every time somebody comes in, they're like, "Oh, Master Chief, huh?" I'm like, "Damn it!"
Well, you're going to enter the phase now where you can, use your child as sort of a...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate that thing.
I've
though.
had sex before.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like,
Ladies and
I mean, no,
gentlemen.
I mean, your kid is into these things,
Yeah,
Mm.
I think genuinely re-experience that joy through them.
Yeah, I do think sometimes that people who have nerdier cultural obsessions can get a little weird with the way that they introduce them to their kids.
Yes. No.
Where they are like, you better like this stuff. You know what I mean? And they're like, this is it. This is all there is. Banjo-Kazooie on the N64 is when things started and ended.
My dad had the opposite thing. I think
Yeah.
he liked Star Wars as a kid, and I think after the prequels came out, after he got older, was somewhat embarrassed about that. And we've never seen Star Wars. It's like an insane gap in our pop
Yeah.
cultural knowledge, and he just kept it from us.
I think
Yeah.
I feel the same way about after seeing the sequels.
I feel like I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be like your dad. I'm gonna just be like, you don't need to do the
Yeah.
things I did because I feel self-conscious about them.
And then my youngest sister found he had these really old toys from there, got really into it. She's now gotten into a bit of the Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And I think she feels a lack and like she can't connect to my father.
Yeah. And your dad's like my most disappointing child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
Exactly.
that
I work so hard to hide you from this. It's like when there's a movie where someone's an ex hitman or Dragon Slayer or whatever.
And they can't keep their kid.
And the kid is like really good at it. And they're like, I tried so hard. I worked so hard. You give your mother and you a good life. And that's what you do.
Speaking of trying hard, we don't try hard, but our patrons try really hard to support us, right?
And they fail.
And they fail.
They try and they fail.
Yeah, they
Hey,
try
you
to
got
fail.
one right here.
Yeah. Welcome.
I upgraded my tier
Yes,
after
you
I became
did.
employed.
Which we very much appreciate. And we very much appreciate everybody who supports this show. I'm going to throw it out to our top supporters, that being Luke Robson, Sammy Roberts, Joe Papalardo, and Zach and Amber Strehle. We could not do this show without you. Thank you very much. If you're interested in supporting the pod, there are two ways to do it. First and foremost, Patreon.com/Monomaniacs pod. See what we have to offer. We've got a Patreon exclusive episode that we record after every episode. It's over almost 70 hours of content. It's crazy. For $5, insane.
Yeah, you got a free 70 hours?
Mm.
Sit down, watch some
Well, it's not free. It's true. Well, technically, if you pay that $5, you've got a total of 140 hours, which is pretty good. That's pretty good for $5. And if you don't have the money, if you are in a box on the side of the road
playing spoons,
if you are the Spoon Man, who we are searching for at the moment, come on the pod first and foremost.
Dude, I'd love to have Spoon Man on the show.
Dude, I'd love it.
Like plastic, metal. What direction would you go with spoons?
What's the ideal spoon?
Yeah.
I'm actually a ivory spoon guy.
Whoa, canceling Spoon Man. Believes in illegal poaching.
The second way you can support us, of course, is liking and subscribing on the YouTube and all that jazz. Easy peasy. Frickin' smack that like button. Hit that bell. That's all I ask. Any dang way. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for doing that, taking the wind out of our sails.
I get paid $2 a year to come on this show. At the very least, you could just appreciate what I do.
I have nothing to say. I was going to say something like, that we're 100% financing your, I don't know, something budget. It's for hair gel.
No.
Do you guys prefer it if I comment on the Patreon page or the YouTube page? I've thought about it a few times.
Well, I mean, from a purely algorithmic perspective,
It'd be YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep this in mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some banger comments.
Yeah. Don't even bother watching the episode. Just hop on. Just be like, Dylan's gay. Boom.
I really hated it when Shad ranked the continents. Boom. Hit the enter on that. Yeah. People.
While I'm at it, Shad's gay too. And I just start adding timestamps.
5 moments.
Yeah.
Shad gay moments.
You actually just put like a whole Metallica set list and put the time. It's like, I'll be that guy. Here's the set list. It's just, nothing really matters.
I'll do it. You guys pin it.
Yeah. Yeah, you too. Yeah,
I comment first, second, pin this. Shad's gay. Would that help the algorithm, actually?
I probably,
I think it would.
Might.
Yeah, it can't hurt it. No, I've been thinking about how I consume way too much compilation content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Of my fave creators. And I'm like I wish that existed for all the stuff that I've put out there, right? But then again, I would have had to produce enough good content for it to be
also you would
compilations.
need fans who were,
Gave a
autistic
shit.
enough. Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do the gay cut.
Yeah.
Just sus things.
Yeah.
That Dylan and Shad have said.
There's a very clear
The pause cut.
Yeah, there's a very clear section in the Everett Hennis episode for gay moments. That would be a perfect opportunity there, where he implied I was a hot woman. I think that was the.
Oh yeah, remember that?
That was.
Yeah. Top 10 gayest moments on Monomaniacs podcast.
Bum, 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 bum,
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Jane O'Connor for the 3rd time.
Gayest moment.
Somebody's gay.
It's funny because as we've gone on and now we're kind of like reaching this episode 71.
Mm-hmm.
People have favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And it's always something that, you would not expect. I think we talked to Dylan or to Silas and Isabel about this, and they're like, yeah, we loved the Hennis episode, which is a very popular episode. It's like some people's favorite episode. But Luke and DJ are a very popular episode.
Nice.
Understood.
Yeah, which we got to get those guys back on the pod. We haven't had them back on the pod. Yeah, they were telling me some insane stuff. I was over at their house yesterday. They were telling me about some illegal stuff they've been up to. You know, actually, I'm this will not implicate them because it wasn't them who did this. This is a wild story. So in the Mills, those big buildings behind St. Anthony's.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, big building behind the Catholic Church at Hillsdale.
In Hillsdale,
Yeah.
Michigan. So urban explorers of various stripes, including Luke and DJ, for a long time used that as a place to go and check out. You know, they'd break in and look around and stuff, and it used to just kind of be owned by people who would never show up or whatever. But they discovered a room which was straight out of I don't know if you guys like the third act of Blade Runner. Every surface was covered in taxidermied animals. Some guy who owned it, he invented this like a type of deer bait that would grow deer's antlers. He owned the place, apparently was some sort of hunter, and there was like stuffed water buffaloes, gorillas, various polar bear heads, crazy stuff. And first off, I was like, why didn't you guys tell me? And maybe we could have shown up with a pickup truck and taken a gorilla. It'd be nice to have a gorilla. But they told a friend, and then that friend told some guys who were a part of a still existing fraternal organization on Hillsdale College's campus, who then went and stole a water buffalo. And rather than being cool about it and chill and keeping it somewhere hidden, they tried to sell it in Ohio.
Come on.
And apparently the guy who owned the water buffalo hired a private investigator to return his water buffalo. So he was like trolling for like listings and stuff, and he found out that there was this listing somewhere in Ohio for a water buffalo, and they just found the guys and booked them.
Ooh.
So they got in some serious trouble. Yeah. So yeah, if you've ever walked by the Mills and been like, wow, that seems like someplace where there'd be a large quantity of taxidermy.
Yeah, I imagine an episode of Criminal Minds where they roll up into that room and they're like, they analyze the water buffalo and they're like, this man wanted to have sex with his mother. I could tell by looking at this.
Haven't you seen like a weird amount of Criminal Minds?
I have, yes. I've seen several seasons of Criminal Minds.
So one of the weirdest subplots, and this comes up a lot, is the fact that there's a serial killer who gets a guy addicted to heroin.
Yeah. So this is my favorite bit. There's a character that his whole bit is he's like the autistic one, right? He's like, that's a classic character in these crime shows.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bones? The whole sort of pitch of Bones.
The whole Bones to the show.
Yeah, the Bones to the show is that the main character is autistic. Like that's the whole bit.
Well, they're bringing that into other shows now. Like, what if a doctor?
Yeah, the Good Doctor.
Autistic. True. The Good Doctor.
Have you guys heard
I am a surgeon.
Yeah.
I'm a surgeon.
Yeah.
I am a surgeon.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that there's a spin-off of the Good Doctor called like
The Bad Doctor?
Like,
The
no, it's
Better Doctor.
The Better Doctor, and it's the Asian surgeon who just, doesn't think he's a surgeon.
That'd be so messed up if he just wasn't autistic.
The
He's even better.
He's even better. It's a guy.
The surgeon.
he can make eye contact.
Yeah. It's called The Surgeon. He's just like wiping mustard off his shirt. No, it's called like The Good Lawyer or something like that.
Boo.
And
Same concept.
well, so she has OCD.
Okay.
Like,
See,
so it's Monk.
I was gonna say Monk already did that.
Yeah.
Well, so she's a lawyer, I guess. And there, the only reason I know about this is because I was around a TV at some point and I was watching commercials for the Good Doctor episodes that launched the lawyer show.
Yeah.
And it was like he got sued for malpractice. And she was like, I'm going to defend you against malpractice charges. And then the people were like, what?
You can never do that. You have OCD.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll never defend him from charges of malpractice.
They were like, she has OCD. You can't trust her. And he was like, it never stopped. My disability never stopped me.
Yeah. I am a surgeon.
And someone's like, pretty sure you're being sued for malpractice. So this is clearly it did get in the way of something.
Yeah.
So
Wow, I gotta start doing more illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I come on here, I'm like, and then I went to my job again, and then my boss said, "Good job," and then I came back, and now I'm on this podcast.
Yeah.
I wanna go back to a particular episode.
Oh,
of
sorry.
Criminal
Yeah,
Minds.
I distracted from the
sorry,
Criminal
sorry.
Minds thing.
Yeah, there is autistic man, autistic guy. He knows all these facts. That's his whole thing. He's like, I have read Paradise Lost so bit. He ends up getting captured by a serial killer who has a completely different like psychological issue where he believes that he's like God incarnate or whatever. But the thing that he does to this poor autistic man is that he gets him addicted to heroin. So he like actively is injecting him with heroin as he's being captured. And so over a period of like 2 days or whatever, he becomes addicted to heroin. First off, one of my greatest fears of all time. Like I discovered a new phobia. All of the above. Getting captured by a serial killer and tortured and then being forced to be like addicted to a substance. Like I don't know why, but like that's like it, deep in my brain.
What if you're like one of those guys where like opiates make you sick?
Hey.
Based.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
But also sucks because I'm sick and being tortured by a chaotic serial killer.
Exactly. He's
Uh,
like, well, the addiction doesn't seem to be working. I guess I have to kill you. Apparently, I'm a serial killer and I'm not interested in killing this guy.
no, I actually just want to get him addicted to heroin.
Yeah, what was the end game there for the serial killer?
Ruin his life.
Dude, I literally cannot tell you.
I'm gonna prove that humans can be addicted to heroin.
Surprise, everybody.
the line between good and evil really runs through man's heart. Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
But at the very end, like this man is addicted to heroin, and they're like, all right, so this character is irrevocably changed. His whole bit now is that he's addicted to heroin, and it like never comes up.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's like for me, it would be like
he cured his autism.
every second episode.
Whoa! And it's like, and the whole time he's like, "Was that good?" Question mark.
And really, the actor was like, "I gotta drop this bit." I can't.
See, a
People
shot causes autism, but a shot cured it. No, yeah, I mean, it was like coward move for the writers, whereas like every third episode they'd be like, he's not at work yet, and then he'd show up a little late, and they'd be like, that's a little weird, and then another 3 episodos would pass and nothing would happen. So
okay, so nothing
cowards.
actually ever happens.
Listen, I stopped watching after like another 20 episodes, so I don't know. I don't know how it culminates. I imagine
This
I imagine
like a
his life
spin-off.
falls apart. Yeah, maybe there's a spinoff.
Heroin mines.
Yeah, heroin mines. And it's just situations in which he purchases heroin. That's the whole show. And it'll
I'd
be
watch
like
it, yeah.
somebody will be like, "Man, I want to sell you heroin, but my supplier, he's a little screwed up in the head." And he's like, "Oh, he's screwed up in the head. Well, maybe he has this obscure disorder." And he's like, "That's probably right, man. Let's go check on him."
No, what if? Yeah, no, it's like he still is solving crimes and like uncovering criminal minds.
Yeah.
but also he's addicted to heroin, and that's the tension the entire
yeah,
show.
well,
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes, classically addicted
Oh, yeah.
to cocaine.
No, it's opiates.
opiate, and well, yeah. Well, it depends on the
Yeah.
yeah, opium specifically.
Yes.
Opium. Why did I think cocaine? Was that in the new Sherlock? I don't remember.
Yeah, he's on opiates in the new show.
Is that still going?
Sherlock?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I was like,
No, I don't, did you watch like the last couple of seasons of that show?
no. Well,
Obviously not.
Yeah.
yeah, I see. I don't know how it ends. I just remember. I do still think first episode, first season, solid.
Yeah.
Already the cracks show. Everyone was really in love with it after that. I think the second episode, the cracks were already showing for that
No,
show.
I looking back on it, it's a bad show. I mean, I will legitimately say it's a bad show, and there's a million reasons why. One of the reasons is that it goes from like, oh, this is kind of dynamic and interesting to Sherlock is God.
Yeah.
He is a god. We are merely mortals in his presence. But the show, it jumps multiple sharks as it kind of, because like in Britain everything's limited release and they'll like do like 2 episodes in a season or
So every
whatever.
episode was like 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in like the last season, they do this thing where they're like, Sherlock has a long lost sister, and she is locked in a super asylum, and they got to go to the super asylum, but she's killed everyone in the super asylum, and now she controls the super asylum, and they fight her in super asylum and stuff. And then he's like, too bad that you didn't think 24 years into the future. And she's like, damn, I can only do 23. You know? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like,
see, that sounds even so foreign. I think I finished the second season. I think when it came out, so that would have been a while ago now.
Yeah.
And yeah, already it was kind of like, well.
I will say the episode where Watson gets married was emotional for me. I don't know how good it is. But I was like, damn.
That show actually, that episode caused a stir in Britain. I found out about this the other day because my wife, who doesn't normally do this sort of thing, was watching like a 5-hour video essay on that show.
Was it the H Bomber guy one? Or?
Yeah, it might have been the H Bomber guy one. Yeah. But she was watching, and there's a moment where they use a full 3D camera setup to film like this rotating slow-mo shot. And people were like, the BBC has the money for this? This is more budget than the entire, but that show was so popular. They're like, this is our
Wait, they did that for the wedding? Like,
yeah, specifically for the wedding episode.
And it wasn't even like well utilized. Like it was them throwing the bouquet and it was like, whoosh, and it was like, this is like millions of dollars on display right now. Yeah, I think it'd be funny if there was a show. And this is sort of like an anime thing to do, where it was like the Sherlock thing, where he's basically God, but it just went full send on it. Where you have people who are like, oh yeah, we're not even going to make any bones about it. These people are, they're basically God. They could, they have amazing, insane minds, and like, yeah, we're they'll be like, yeah, I was thinking 100.
Be like God Cop.
Yeah, God Cop.
I was just saying.
Speaking of 30 Rock,
that just sounds like Death Note, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is sort of what Death Note's like, or Baki or whatever.
Yeah,
it is funny the shows that as I get older, I didn't expect like Sherlock to fall in esteem and 30 Rock to really increase in esteem. But what a show!
There's a scene. I don't think it's in the anime, but it's in the manga for Baki, which is this very popular thing right now, where a guy gets shot in the head. And he's so physically fit that he moves his brain to the left. And then the bullet goes through his skull. And he's like, didn't hurt. I'm fine. You got to do more than shoot me in the head to kill me.
I love it.
We on time?
We're overtime.
Overtime.
We're just rolling, guys.
Overkill.
You guys are going to get another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got more thoughts on BBC's Sherlock.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all guys in the Patreon if you're interested. Again, Monomaniacs. Well, sorry, Patreon.com/Monomaniacs pod. See you guys there.
I'll reveal who made me watch Top Gun's volleyball scenes exclusively.
And I'll review who has a copy of Song of the South.